Well, hello, my AVFL followers. Glad to get back to you guys. I'm sitting here in the coffee shop, and hopefully you guys can hear the music too. It's kind of loud in here, but it's raining outside, so I can't show you anything outside. But this is just like a little niche on the side of the coffee shop, and there's some nice benches, places to sit. So I thought I'd show you guys that. Anyways, I wanted to go over Vienna with you guys. Thank you so much for your prayers. It was spectacular. And I'm convinced that your guys' prayers for me, especially specifically my health, has really kept me healthy. Lots of people are getting sick. There's a girl that actually last night she went to the hospital because for some reason she was very dehydrated. I guess it was, well, there's a long story behind it, but she ended up, she was not doing good, and so I took her to a hospital. A couple other people are sick, throwing up, and so please continue to pray for my immune system. But I'm almost positive, I am positive that just you guys praying for my health. Every time I feel a little bit sick, you guys, I've been asking for prayer from you guys, and so it's been a huge blessing to feel better. But anyways, yeah, just thank you for that. Anyways, Vienna was just incredible. It's, I don't know. I mean, first off, you got the cultural part of Vienna is just much more on a different, definitely a different level than Budapest. Budapest is, I don't know. I'd want to say like dirtier city, just in like culture. Vienna was very just rich and like music and art, and Mozart came from there, and so there's a lot of stuff about Mozart, and so it was just a great experience to be just like you're in like an intellectual hub. A lot of famous people go to Vienna, or came from Vienna, but one of the things Caleb talked to us about was that like if you put like if you were to look at like the top maybe like 5 cities that people want to go to when they visit Europe, Vienna is basically one of them. It's on the top 5, and so it was super amazing to be there. Like there's a lot of different cultures, a lot of different ethnicities, and just lots of people. But one of the coolest things was that I already talked about this, is we weren't allowed to use amplification, and so we learned how to play songs. And no, we didn't run from the cops. We didn't even bring our speakers. So, but thank you for the prayers. No bail needed for me, but we went to the walking street on Friday, and we were able to. We did kind of like a routine. It was cool. We started out with just some music people would know, some popular songs, and because we already have like 50 people there, we'd already kind of formed the first basis of the ring, of the circle that people would watch. And so with that, people would go, okay, there's already people watching, because they don't know that we're part of the group, and they'd come and they'd crowd and they'd start watching us, and they see us, we're all having a great time and having a blast and singing along. And then after that, one of the things we did was it's called the cup song. It's kind of big. I don't know how to describe it. It has to do with banging on like a cup. But what they did is one of the teams learned it on trash cans, and so it started out slow, and then it went and got faster, progressively faster, and it was really loud. And so with that, you drew in like at least, I don't know, we have like about 70 people watching now. And then right after that, Caleb would come out, and he's a 4th degree black belt in Goju. Don't ask me what that is, but so he's got some martial arts under his belt. But so he'd ask for a volunteer from the crowd, and they were going to hold the board that he was going to break, and so we'd get someone to hold it, and he would like just be about to break it, like 1, 2, and then he would stop and he would explain like what everyone's doing here, and why we're here, and he kind of tied in a little bit of a gospel message, and he said, the board is like some of the sin that would keep him from God, and he's like, how many of you guys want to see me break it? And we'd all, everyone's screaming and ready ready for this guy to break the board, and so he'd finally break it, and then right after that we'd go into the skit that we prepared, and that was really powerful. I mean, people just brought to tears, and really, I mean, people were really captivated by that. Definitely one of the biggest blessings is seeing that, and so it was really cool to just see how people responded to that. Right after that, everyone would. There was another guy, the pastor that we paired up with. His name was Ken. He's like the assistant pastor at Calvary Chapel, Vienna. And he did this art piece, kind of just simple art, just kind of went through his story, and people would stay for that. But what we would do is our team is we would spread out, and we would kind of see. I kind of really tried to target some of the people that looked really, I guess, affected by the skit, and so that you kind of get people that you can ask them, hey, what'd you think about the skit, and what'd you think about this, and so it's kind of something to help aid the conversation, start it off. So the first night, sadly, I don't remember too much. I had a couple conversations, nothing like serious. I think I got to pray for one person. I'm having a hard time because the first night was definitely, I thought it was amazing, when it just happened, and it was, don't get me wrong, but the second night was just incredible. We came out there, it was about double the people on the streets on Saturday night, and the very first time, I mean, we got out there, and I was just feeling really I was feeling weird, and I mean, I just remember Ken, he was doing his thing, and he said Jesus' name. He just said, something like God or Jesus, and I heard 20 people just oh, whatever, and they just walked away, and I was like, oh shoot, oh my gosh, there's so many people that are just so close to just hearing anything about Jesus or God, and so I was like, all right, and I just started praying, and there was one guy there that was really into it. He'd been watching from the beginning, and at the end of Ken's thing, he asked for a little bit more information about what the gospel was, and he got this little pamphlet. But then he came back, and I started talking to him, and his name was Paolo, and he was from Switzerland, and so there was a pretty good-sized language barrier there. But luckily, Ken came up, and he started translating, and he just said that he was really impacted by the skit, that he was at the edge of crying. He was really he was fighting back the tears, and he said that he's like I've never really prayed, and he kind of said I guess today's a good day, so I got to pray for him, and then Ken translated it, and then just for I guess Ken and him were still talking in German, and I was just the entire time I was just trying to pray for him in my mind, and as it turned out, he wanted to accept Jesus into his heart, and so that was just incredible. And just because it was going to be easier, Ken led him through it just in German, because that was the easiest way to do it. And so while Ken was praying for him, I got to pray for him as well. But they exchanged emails, and so he was flying back to Switzerland or going back to Switzerland. I don't know if he was driving or whatnot, but that next day, and so it was just really cool to see that it made the whole trip worth it. The whole everything worth it is the Bible says that the angels rejoice over one lost sinner that comes to know Christ. I butchered that. I'm sorry, but and so it was just I mean, I was just so emboldened by that. Just seeing that this guy was so ready to accept God, and he was so broken already, and so. That was just amazing. By no means was it me that did it. It was, me being used, obviously by God, and it was so cool to just see how, when you're open to it, you really can be used as a vessel by God, and so that was definitely the highlight of the trip for me. It was just incredible. But after that, I had a couple more conversations. I actually got to talk to two girls that are stationed here in Vienna. They're in the Air Force, and they're at one of the Air Force base here, in Vienna. And so I got to pray for them just for protection and for safety, and that was really cool. A couple guys from Bulgaria, a guy from Denmark, and it was just a great night. I mean, I didn't nothing really compared to talking to Paolo because a lot of people were very closed off to it. But the most I got to pray for a couple people and just pray that God would reveal Himself to them. Um, but one of the coolest things is our permit was actually only from 6 to 9 for Saturday night, so we're not actually allowed to perform afterwards. They don't really care if we're talking, but as far as performing goes, so we had ran out of time. We couldn't do any more performing. We were all amped. It was a great night. I mean, there were some crazy conversations going on. I think in all, like 7 or 8 people were led to Christ that night, and I mean that's like now. I mean, I don't want to say that was like because of us, but like that was more than these outreaches had ever done in like years past. Like maybe 1, maybe 2 in the past like 6 years, and so it was just mind blowing. But at the end of it, we're just having fun. We met some guys there that were really cool. They're like my age. They reminded me of my friends, and we got the cajon, and we were just putting down a beat, and these guys were dancing. We're all dancing, and we basically started a dance circle, and it was super cool. And everyone's like, dancing around. People, and before, I mean, like within like 5 minutes, there was probably a good 200 to 300 people crowded around. I mean, the circle was pretty tight, but it was like 6 people deep, and so super cool. I got up there and I danced for a little bit, and then I threw a backflip, and people were like going crazy, and I mean that was cool. I mean, just in itself. But right after that, like Caleb came out and he's like, and he just started like telling. He was like, hey, he's like, what do you guys want? You guys want to know like why we're here? Like all these people, and so like just like the platform that like just us having fun, and being totally just filled with the Holy Spirit. Allowed him to come out and preach the gospel to like 250 people, and so that was just that was a huge blessing. So I just want to tell you guys about that. The next day we went to Calvary Chapel, Vienna, for a service, and while we were sitting there, there's actually a couple people that came from the night before that we had told about the church, and a couple of them came. So that was just amazing, seeing the people actually came through and wanted to come to church. And then after that, we went and got some lunch, and then we headed home. But I mean, all in all, just the whole trip was just it's mind blowing. Just seeing how God can really use you when you're open to it, and like when you really die to yourself and you say, it's not my life, but it's yours, God. Just seeing how how willing He is to really use you. It's like sometimes you say, I'm gonna put my life down on the altar and like give this time to you, God. But sometimes it feels like He's not gonna do anything. But it was so cool to actually be like wielded by Him. The other thing that I was gonna say was that just like seeing how sometimes when you're filled with fear or you're scared about situations, it was cool to see how like even like that fear in those situations kind of catapulted and was used as a platform for my boldness, and so as I was scared to talk to people, as I just started praying, and I was just like, God, fill me with your love. And it's like when you think about it, it's like it's more important to talk to people about Jesus than any embarrassment that you may get by being shut down by them. And so it was incredible to just be used like that. And so I want to thank you guys again for your prayer and just everything that you guys have been doing for me. I mean, I'm still, every time I wake up, I'm like, man, I'm hungry. Like, that's crazy. I've been in I've been in 4 countries so far, and I mean, just beyond my wildest dreams of the things that God has done for me. And so just want to really thank you guys individually for that. Please continue to keep on praying for my health. It's been so cool because it's like every time I'm like, I'm like good, and then I like kind of drop to like feeling like I'm gonna be sick. It's like I bounce up, and I'm so convinced that it's you guys praying for me. So I just want to say thank you for that. Actually yesterday was really cool. We got to go teach English to at an English camp about 45 minutes away in a town I don't remember. But it was just really cool to just love on some kids, teach them, play some games with them like Simon Says, and do like Hangman on the chalkboard, and just really you know, like some of these kids are so smart, and some of them were just so cool, and they got to bless us in return. They gave us these little postcards. And I had them. They wanted us to like sign their notebooks, and I felt like a celebrity. You know, I was sitting down and they're like coming by me, and I was like, shh, you know. But it was really cool. I got to have them sign my postcard. The kids that I worked with, because you know they were just really sweet. So yeah, I will be putting up another video probably just tomorrow about my trip to our next trip, which is to Serbia, and I will tell you guys more about that tomorrow. So thank you guys once again. I Yeah, I'll tell you guys more tomorrow. My video's getting pretty long right now. So thank you guys. I love you. And yeah, bye.